Hey there, Halt Catch fans. Welcome back to the Halt Catch Fire AfterBuzz After Show. We're here talking about Season 3, Episode 7, The Threshold. Hold on one sec. We're going to carry you across it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah. Now, did that pun of sorts work for you?
It worked for me. It took me a minute.
Did it?
I was like, where are we going? Oh.
I questioned whether I should have used it or not, but obviously I did. Hi, my name is Isaac Johnson. You can follow me on Twitter at Isaac Johnson or Instagram, The Isaac Johnson. And once again, joined by the best host at AfterBuzz, I think, Amber Plaster.
Thanks. Thank you. That was a great intro. Oh my gosh. You guys can tweet me your predictions and all of the things at Amber Plaster. Thanks for watching.
Everything, all of the things. What do people tweet to you? Anything interesting?
They tweet me all the things. Earlier today, someone had the audacity to ask me
yes.
if I am Team Donna or Team Cameron. And let me tell you right now, I'm Team Cameron. Ride or die.
Okay, ride or die. I'm on Team Donna for sure.
I get it.
Geez, how did you feel about this amazing episode?
Poor Cameron, but not really poor Cameron.
Not really.
She's making it hard to be on her team, but I'm still on her team.
How are you still on her team at this point?
No, I don't know.
I really need to know because I feel like
Listen,
it's near impossible.
what did I write down about Donna? Listen, Gordon, I really wish that Gordon would have not told Cameron before Donna had time to like be a better person, because Donna was gonna think about go behind her back, and I truly think that Donna is so level-headed that she would have eventually decided, let's think on this, let's come up with a compromise, let's try a meeting, and then when Cameron gets all sassy and pushes me, then I'll do this terrible thing that I feel that I need to do, and we go behind her back and we'll get the board members all together. Gordon said, well, she's my video game buddy and I don't want to go behind her back. And I was like, Gordon, don't get mixed up into this. Listen.
Yeah, don't do it.
He had to say something, and
okay. Before we get too deep here, we're going to get into all those details. This was a rich episode. I said this before we were starting. It's hard to remember because this is third season now. I saw season 1 so long ago.
Yeah.
But this might be my favorite season. I feel like there's just so much cohesion in the writing, the relationships, where we're going. It's so very clear what everybody wants. I'm eating it up. And this episode was no exception for me. I thought it was fantastic. Let's start talking about Cameron and Tom, which this was my observation as Tom's out in California. He's going to carry her across the threshold, but he can't quite do it. I didn't know if that was supposed to represent that he's not your guy, really. I don't know. I had that thought because I thought...
There was a lot of foreshadowing for me. At first it was like, Tom's back!
Oh, so glad to see him, yeah.
Super cute. Super cute dude. Guy. Love him. I really honestly do, I'm Team Joe and Cameron. Like, love that. But, I like Tom. Yeah. He's a cutie.
He's a great guy.
And he's a great guy, from what we know. I don't really...
He moved across country for his wife.
Yeah. So, and... the foreshadowing for me as well was when they're at dinner, actually, Cameron and Tom, and trying to do this sort of very suburban, cute couple of, you tell the story, and they couldn't even get their stories right, and they were arguing about that, and I was like, ooh,
and that was,
guys.
At that one, I guess we didn't see this. This happened off screen or something like that, but I don't remember any of that stuff happening in terms of them talking about getting married or... I can't remember a scene when that happened. Did I just forget something?
We weren't shown it.
Okay, we weren't shown
it.
So I was like, are they making this story up? The fact that they keep looking at each other to sort of check in, and then I said this, and then I said that, and I thought, are they making this story up right now? Or are they just trying to, like you said, seem very we know each other, and this is the story that we,
No, I certainly don't think that they were lying about it. I just think that it happened in a less romantic way than Cameron can be proud of.
Okay.
And I think they were trying to be like, yeah, no, it was totally cute. We didn't just screw each other and then decide to get married in 2 seconds. I'm not impulsive. I think it was more like covering up their tracks that way.
Sure, yeah. I was just at some point I was like, what kind of story is this?
It was weird. But I think it was foreshadowing for their relationship not being as solid as Tom or Cameron wants it to be.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, foreshadowing perhaps, or foreshadowing of their relationship in general, but just the fact that he literally can't carry her across the threshold. I don't know.
It was bad.
It was definitely bad. But so I think, I mean, and also, sorry, there's another thought I had about them, but it seems like she would be happy to just be in like a relationship with him and maybe not like running a company or something like that because he makes her feel safe. But then I thought like,
no, in what world is Cameron happy just being in a relationship with someone?
right?
Not
Well, like
working?
being in like a relationship room with their like where they like write code or something like that all day long.
Okay.
She doesn't seem to care about like the company at large. I don't know. It was just
I think she doesn't care about the company at large, but I think that she cares very much, not dissimilar to the way that Ryan cares very much about changing the world and being very groundbreaking with her work, whether it be at home or for a corporation. So I
yeah, having it be like very meaningful personally, but not, you know, like the money sort of part of it.
yeah. But she does need to be the best in her coding and her work. I think she's competitive with herself in that way.
Yeah, I mean, she won't let you forget how great she is at all of that stuff. But which is why I can't believe that you're still on Team Cameron at this point. But let's save that for the big chunk. The scene with her and Boz. Boz finds out that she's married from someone else.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I thought for some reason I thought he knew.
Well, I thought that she would tell him. I mean, she told Gordon last week, but I thought that she would talk to him about it. I mean, obviously Donna knows because Gordon told her, but him finding it out when he's over at Diane's house. By the way, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
Which was great.
It's so great, but him finding out in that way and him going like, you know, they're talking about the company and this and that and the other, and then she's married, and just like, oh, Daddy hurt his feelings.
Just he played it so well too. He kind of played it like, oh yeah, wait, what? Like he kind of did this thing, and I was like, oh no.
Donna's, oh, I'm sorry, I figured you'd know, and he's probably thinking I figured I'd know too, and then you know, it wasn't your story to tell.
All of his comebacks are like golden nuggets of wisdom.
That's his character. He's just wise, and it's true. It's not her news to tell. He's going to be more hurt than that. So that when Cameron comes into the office and she figures out the whole thing with mutiny and them trying to take it out from underneath her, you know, she's in there, she's on and on about the company, and he's like, why didn't you tell me? You know, I didn't know Donna was going to do this. Know that you were married.
I know. I was like, no, like you're married, you idiot. Like, how could you possibly think that he cares about? That's what he's upset about.
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to be upset with you about that stuff. He's, you know, the thing that she said to him last week, you know, you're not my real dad, was to paraphrase. But I loved hearing him say that to her. You know, I know you don't think of me as a father. You made that very clear. Heartbreaking. Again, Toby Huss killing it.
Yep.
But that's not going to stop me from thinking of you as a daughter. He calls her sweetheart. He tells her he loves her. I was just in a pool of emotions. All of the feels were on me at that point in time.
I still want to meet her mom. I'm still confused as to, like, I'm angry we didn't get to meet her mom. I don't understand what Cameron's problems at home are, and I feel like that should have definitely been addressed in season 1, and I don't remember it being addressed.
Yeah, maybe in season 2 it's hard to remember. I mean, obviously, you know, wasn't a great mom, and dad died.
And the dad died, which I understand, but I love that. One, I love that Boz and Cameron got back together yet again. At the end, it was kind of like, hey, did I tell you I got married? And he like totally forgives her, and he's like, yeah, no, that's
great. It was very sweet.
Very sweet.
It was a very
then
sweet moment.
He tells her, you know, again, like the world's greatest wisdom, and he goes, you know, it's not just your company anymore.
Loved
and
it.
I was like, yes.
Yes. It's not just your company. There's other people here, other people that you need.
Wake up a little bit. And she was like, okay, maybe I should listen to Boz. And then I was like, Gordon, no.
Yeah. Well, but so that was like a nice moment for Cameron to ask him, well, what should I do? Especially after he drops the dad thing on her, which again, just beautiful. But what should I do? And then he lays it out for her. Like, look, you guys can work together. You need each other. Just look, lay out your plan, and essentially like lay out your plan in an adult way, and people are going to respect you. Can Cameron do that for more than 10 seconds? Probably not, because we know Cameron.
I feel like she would have. I feel like there was something in this episode that showed me that Cameron cared to collaborate more than usual, that she stayed up all night getting excited about these notes.
Yeah.
She's in this new life now with Tom, and she really feels like she's putting on her big girl pants and trying to prove to people that she's not impulsive, which she definitely still is, but I think it's adorable that she's trying to show people that she's not.
Damn, like she's not, yeah.
You know, and she has all these notes, and she's not wrong. They do say, you know, like, oh, you know, the IPO, we can get us 20 million and then in 3 months. And Cameron's kind of like, well, where did you get this magic number from? 3 months. And I was kind of like the same way. I was like, it doesn't have to be 3 months. Like, you guys, you're in control here. Just because you have heat, you're feeling the pressure. And then Cameron's point was true with saying, oh, if we fix everything that's wrong with this company, which is broken, by the way, you can get 100 mil in 2 years. And I was like, can't the both of you just work together?
Yeah. I mean, it was like no surprise that she didn't stick to like what Boss told her for very long, because she can't really get in her own way. In fact, the thing that he said that was the best about her is that she marches to the beat of her own drum, and kind of lays that out for her. Like, if you march to the beat of your own drum, you risk losing the band, or I think that was what he said.
Which is a really great way to put it.
Which is a really great way to put it. And so let's talk about Cameron and Donna now. But you know, they had some moments where it seemed like in the beginning of the episode where they're in the bathroom, where it seems like, okay, they're kind of coming together here.
I loved that scene, actually.
Yeah, sort of apologizing to each other, like, okay, this can work. I'm happy for you. Congratulations about your marriage. All that kind of stuff was good. But, you know, like you said, Gordon, you know, spills the beans to her as far as what's happening after all these notes. But even these notes are like, I mean, yeah, that's not Cameron to have like an organized plan. She just like scribbled them down on a bunch of pieces of paper.
Yeah, but Donna did push her in the bathroom though. Like, she was like, good, I'm glad we're friends. And now the thing that I wanted. And I was like, Donna, oh my gosh, give it a day.
I'm not gonna fault Donna at all for that. I can't. I can't. Well,
because Cameron had that. She's like, finally, Cameron's like, okay, maybe I can trust you. And then Donna's like, and now the thing that I want. Now that we're good, like, Cameron's not ready to trust again, and so she's spinning all over the place, which is causing. And then she hears from Gordon that Donna's going to go behind her back and force the board to push her out, and then she's like, well, fine, then I'm going to leave if this is the way you want to do it. And then it forces Boz to do that, and it just snowballs. So I'm not saying that Cameron isn't responsible for her impulsive actions. I'm saying that Cameron has been pushed multiple times in this episode by Donna, Gordon, and the whole boardroom voting against her, that pushes her back into sort of her old ways.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about like how, like, I don't know, she forces the vote. They don't want to take the vote then.
She does.
Emotions are way, way too high at that point.
Way too high.
And taking a break would have been the wise advice again from Boz, but...
And Diane, too. She, like, everyone in the room was like, no one say anything. Everyone just like, take a break. And I'm like, take a break.
Yeah. I mean, even just like, okay, she's now kind of on board with this after that bathroom conversation. This is good. They're kind of moving in a similar direction here.
No, she's insulted.
Well, she's okay. She's a little
so
insulted.
She's not thinking clearly. And Donna, you can see her like puffing and puffing in her chair.
Wait, but what was this in the bathroom? What was the insult? Because I didn't get an insult in there.
Oh no, there wasn't a bathroom insult in the bathroom. It was really, for me, the push in the bathroom was, okay, let's all start over. And about the IPO that I want was like, it's not that it was a punch in the face. It was just, can we trust Donna to like,
sure.
You know, I don't think the trust was rebuilt enough.
Sure. I mean, it's like an old wound and she's like scratching it or something like that. But like, at the same time, like the IPO is what they should do, because eventually this business needs to like make money or something like that. And then then she gets the idea. I'm gonna write down all these like, you know,
ways
things
to improve
and ways to improve it. But then the plan is for 1 year to 2 years. Yeah, they don't have to jump at like the first offer they have or anything like that. But it is somewhat time sensitive, and it seems like waiting 1 year to 2 years, or even just that she says that mutiny is broken. I don't know if mutiny is actually broken or she sees it as broken, because even when she gives Donna all those notes, and she says, well, look, I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna, you know, I'm head of the company, so let's just drop this thing. And
that was gross when she did
that. It was pretty gross. And then there was something that she says to Donna that was like, look, it's better. You'll just like you'll see it that way. And if you don't understand anything, I'm happy to explain it to you. That it's talking down to Donna a
Yeah,
little
it
bit there. I
is.
don't know that Donna was gonna lash out at her because of that, but she's like, a year to 2 years, that's a long time. I mean, as an actor in Hollywood, you're just like you have these big, opportunities, and you're like, I'm gonna take a year off to go travel to Europe. It's like, well, it may not be as hot when you come back, so you gotta kind of sometimes strike while the iron's hot. At least that's what Donna wants to do. Diane sees it the same way. It was just,
Well, it's the whole point of the show, right? Is you halt and you catch fire. You can't stop. You can't, and like and Cameron's kind of been the brakes this season. She's kind of
yeah,
been like, guys, everyone stop. Like this, she's like, it's a tacky, 8-bit mall. Like we have to fix this. Like this is not an
right.
attractive software anymore. This is not an attractive product that we have. And everyone's like, well, we don't care. We have the opportunity to grow. And she's like, ah.
Yeah. Well, because even that
She
she
has a
still,
point though. There are things that need to be fixed.
I mean, I guess I don't know what needs to be fixed because I don't know enough about the code or
Well, I
whatever.
guess her point is like, you see the very opening of the episode how swap meets empty.
Sure.
So
Okay.
like I think that was the foreshadowing for us visually who don't understand code. Is
Possible.
is like people are kind of showing up and then they're leaving, and you can see that things are still being listed and then they're dwindling and they're not showing up. And so I think it's
Yeah. Well, yeah, I see that, and she doesn't want it to be what she says like a storefront for other things or something like that. She wants it to have a soul. Mutiny's not mutiny.
she wants it to be a community.
Yeah, community.
Yeah.
She's like, mutiny is not mutiny anymore. It's turning into something else. Even when she's talking in the meeting, when she puts on her big boy pants for like 10 seconds, she's like, things are moving fast. I think they're just moving too fast for her, and it's turning into something that she didn't originally intend it to be. Kind of like I said, where she'd be happy like coding with Tom or something like that for forever long their marriage is gonna last. I don't think that she's looking at the big picture in terms of the company, and like, yeah, you do kind of have to move along pretty quickly there. It was also like to me that there's something I think that she said, like, let's all, the idea that mutiny wouldn't be mutiny without me. It's like the initial spark, no, but you wouldn't have a company without Donna. Donna is the
Oh,
organized
100%
one.
not.
She's
Yeah.
the one who's pulled all these resources together. If it was just you, you would just have a great idea. And like Boz says, you guys need each other. But to me, that was gross that she would say that kind of or infer that sort of thing to Donna, which again just belittles who Donna is, and in some ways just kind of forces her to go to Diane and be like, look, this is what's happening. What are we gonna do?
I understand that, but I thought that it was going to take a lot more for Donna to have to force her hand. So I was actually surprised.
Well, yeah, but so in that in the conference room, which was a magnificent scene, just the stakes just got higher and higher until everything, oh, so good.
So good.
But in that conversation, so Cameron has now been an adult for like 10 seconds. She's laying out her, thing. She's actually respecting the other people in the room for a minute. And the moment she starts hearing what she doesn't want to hear, then she starts making it personal. Calls Donna impulsive, which is ironic.
Yeah. And also just untrue.
Yeah, untrue. And then goes for her marriage and Gordon, and not cool.
You know what it reminded me of is when we had the episode with Jonah on where it was chaos for a minute when people
Yeah.
were throwing punches and people were throwing
Oh, yeah.
paper balls at people's heads and everything. And it kind of felt like watching in that boardroom was kind of like, well, and you can even barely go home because you don't even want to see your husband anymore. And it was like, whoa, like who threw that punch? Where did it come from? Like it just like, like it layered so quickly. It just, it was like almost like watching like, I don't know, a Real Housewives episode. Like it was like crazy how like real and like catty it got, and then like everyone slowed down.
Yeah. Well, as soon as like I think that was when Diane finally popped up and was like, "Hey, let's calm
not,
down here. Your marriage." And then Gordon starts piping in there too, and I'm like, Gordon,
Nope, Gordon.
you stay out of the way of this dude. I mean, in some ways you kind of caused it, but like getting real personal like that, talking about her marriage. I mean, I just see her like to me, that's Donna just being forced into a corner because it seemed like even for a minute there, look, I hear what you're saying. This is brilliant. And she even calls her brilliant. And then Cameron somehow takes that as like,
oh, you don't mean it.
Don't patronize me. And she's like, I'm not patronizing
I think it just shows like how on guard everyone is in that scene. Like the fact that she got a compliment and she couldn't even take it because she was like an animal backed into a corner. She was biting the hand that feeds her, literally. She was just like, she wasn't logical in that moment.
I mean, the thing that Donna says to her is, you alienate everybody, which is very true. It's like maybe the most true thing about that character. But even in the room, she insults Diane there. Like, well, you're just saying what Diane wants to say. And it's like, look, Cameron, if you want to make a couple friends in this room, you may not want to go around the table listing off everybody's faults.
I would say I'm surprised she didn't bite back at Boz for some reason, but she had just healed up that relationship, so I'm sure it'll take another week before she bites back at Papa Boz.
I mean, like you said, like it just seems like she's like, okay, I'm like losing control of this and I need to do something, and she's huffing and puffing and she slams that door. All the coders outside are like, oh, they're fighting in there again.
I thought it was really cool how that slam then signaled for the whole party to stop, and Tom was really respectful and kind of kept his distance. You know, it's her company and whatever, but you know, she leaves just gutted, and she doesn't have anyone to turn to, and then Tom kind of takes her hand and leads her out like a little puppy with her tail between her legs. She's just empty, and I'm like, oh.
But I don't know. She 100%, at least to me, forced that to happen.
Yeah, no, she did.
It was really, I think it was a really, really great performance by Mackenzie Davis. Like the moment, I mean, you knew Gordon was gonna vote with Donna. Like at least he better.
Oh, he had to.
Better.
Marriage over.
If he hadn't, I would have been so upset.
I actually think that's a really good point to bring up because what was it? Mackenzie Davis' character Cameron said, "Oh, we don't want to work together because that doesn't always work out well." It was kind of a little bit of a dig at Gordon and Donna, but I was like, honestly, if he didn't vote with his wife in that moment to support her,
he has to.
Their marriage would have been over. So maybe it isn't good to work with your spouse.
Well, even the fact that when Gordon tells her about what's going to happen, and she's like, "Well, look, that leaves you and Boz," and Gordon's like, "That leaves Boz." I can't believe Cameron is not aware enough to know that he has to vote with his wife.
She was trying to push him. She was trying to be like, yeah, you know, like, because we're buddies. And he was like, no. He's like, nah, we're not that good at buddies.
I guess, I mean, she said it so, like, flippantly. It seemed like it didn't even cross her mind or something like that. But,
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, we're, like, video game buddies. Yeah. I'm like, no, they've been in a marriage. They have children.
Yeah, because he comes to her, right?
He did, because of their friendship.
So she was kind of thinking like, yeah.
Early warning. I don't know that he thought she was going to do this, but...
Well, Gordon doesn't think.
No, I mean, maybe not.
Gordon doesn't really think that far ahead, I don't think. I think he's just like, hey, and then he like needs to say
something.
Well,
I think he was like, you know, they have their ham radio buddy thing.
Gordon is
CQ,
the antithesis of Joe. Joe is like, I will wait like a snake.
Right,
and I will strike. And Gordon's like, blah, 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 blah. Like everything that he thinks, it comes out of his mouth. And with the best intentions.
Yeah, I think he had good intentions. He wanted to protect his friend or something like that. But that built up to the beautiful moment in that boardroom where you got to come over to Boz and you're breaking my heart. Has to raise his hand. And Mackenzie Davis, like the air is sucked out of her body. Like,
what did you think was going to happen, girl?
Exactly.
You know?
Which is, how can you still be Team Cameron at this point?
Oh, I just love her.
I just love her.
I love her. And also, I think, well, we'll get into predictions.
Yeah. I mean, I love the character. I love the character. I mean, I love the actress. I love that they've written her this way. It's just like, you know, like that was what Boz said about the beat of her own drum. Like, you're going to lose the band. And you just lost the band. I mean, you forced that vote. And I like the Boz is like, we're going to clear the air here for a minute. And they keep trying to break it up. And then
maybe she'll come back and she'll be stronger for it. Maybe, you know, because of the mutiny at Mutiny, as it were.
Yeah, there you
go. Which I think more than a few people saw coming at the beginning of the season. I think there's two options. You know, she can come back and be a good little soldier and keep her mouth shut a little bit more and not, you know, and go along when the company has growth and not whine and complain about it. its soul or what her ownership over it, which is her growing pains personally.
Yeah.
You know, like Boz said, she's not the only person at that company. Like, it's not just her company anymore. It's simply not. And she doesn't like that, and she rejects that. Or she can start over, and Lord knows we're not going to be watching her for a full season be back in Texas playing housewife. So
No, that's never going to happen.
So what is the other option?
I don't know. I mean, can't she come back and, like, play nice? Heck no.
I don't think
Heck
so.
no. She's got too much pride for that. I mean, just even going back to that, she was like, there would be no mutiny without me. I think there can be a mutiny without you, especially now that you have what you have. You can bring back a frickin' frack there. You got enough talented dudes. You could, it could still be, it won't be what she wanted it to be for sure. But I think just, I'm still like, this is why I'm so team Donna, but still just belittling her to even sort of like give her an order when you guys started this together. I'm going to pull rank, I'm going to pull my company rank, all that kind of stuff.
I think that comes from inexperience and nervousness.
Easily.
To be like, oh, she's hitting me with facts, but I'm in charge of the company, and so I'm going to tell the babysitter no. Like that's, she turns into this like,
trust me.
No, but
Trust
I'm
me,
in
it's better.
charge.
Yeah, just trust me, it's
She
better.
didn't feel comfortable
And if you need help,
actual
understanding
facts.
these hard things, I'll explain it to you. I'm
Yeah.
just, no other
Yeah,
choice.
she was trying to throw her weight around, and it was just the worst way.
Yeah, well, and she obviously didn't have. Oh, she obviously didn't have the support that she thought she did. But how
Which is
can
a
you
good
really?
lesson, isn't
I
it?
mean, the Boz one is very surprising. Diane, not surprising. Gordon, you got to do what you got to do.
Boz isn't surprising because Boz made the right decision for Cameron.
You think so?
Yes, I think Boz always has Cameron's best interest in mind, and he's like, Cameron, your company needs to like grow. Mm-hmm. I'm voting yes because this is the vitamin you need to take now.
Very fatherly.
I truly think that's why he did it.
Okay, I hadn't.
And I don't think that he wanted to like embarrass her or anything. So he's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to embarrass you, but like this, you gotta do this.
Okay. Well, as we segue into Boz and Diane, does any of his decision have to do with his relationship with Diane?
I don't think so.
Not at all?
No,
okay.
I don't think so. I think that Diane and Boz are strong enough in their mind to be able to separate work and home.
Sure.
If anybody in the history of television was, it would be Boz and Diane. I mean, when she says, "You think I didn't check out my investors and see what prison exactly they went to?"
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
She's that person.
Yes.
Annabeth Gish. Oh, so good.
So good.
Okay, I'll buy a lot of that. I mean, to some degree, like Cameron doesn't know about them. I don't know.
I think she's just unaware. I think a lot of people are unaware.
Yeah, well,
because
no one really knows.
no one really looks at an older couple and is like thinking, I wonder what's going on there. They're flying under the radar.
Yeah, well,
They're
I
not
mean-
just like scooting around the radar. They're just
Yeah.
like having all kinds of parties under the radar. No one cares.
Yeah, well, even when Donna goes over there, Boss comes out, it's like, oh, all right, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are, it's after a certain hour, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Doesn't even ask. But so it's so great because we were talking about this from last episode. Why didn't Boz go in for the nightcap? What's his problem? This lady is up your alley. Goes to the front door, apology, and I guess basically he just didn't feel worthy of her or good enough for her. I mean, he's got all those personal issues going on, but the fact that he is an ex-felon, 14 years? Is that how many years he spent in that prison?
Wow.
I think that's what he said, 14 years. And he's got all the personal stuff going on. He just felt like maybe he wasn't good enough for her. But I love that, like you said, she's like, you think I didn't check you out, man? I know
That was
you
like,
are.
oh, that was such a sexy moment where she's like, you think I don't know? Give me those flowers. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah.
Very cool. And he does cross her threshold
Yes,
there.
he does. Successfully. And
Very successfully. Loved seeing it. I just want happiness for Boz.
me too. I think he's gonna get it. I think Diane's happy to have him around. I think she's a real woman. I think she's a real adult, and she
Yeah.
can handle all of his problems. And he's like, you can't handle all my problems. She's like, I can handle problems. Like, it's fine. Your baggage is not that scary. And he's like, no, it really is. And she's like, no, it's like, you don't need to do this. It was so great that she was not only kind of like, what the heck, but she was also at the same time so accepting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's been through a divorce. She's seen ugliness. She has a company with her name on it. Although, I wonder if that's...
No, she doesn't have a company
her
with her
husband's
name on it. It's her ex-husband's name on her company.
It'd be interesting to find out, like, did she, like, have him removed somehow? Or now
Well, I would actually be interested to know the details of that, because I found out that until 1986, which is super recent.
Which is the year that we're in, yeah.
Women were not allowed to take out a business loan without their father or husband co-signing for them.
What?
Yes. So I think this is hinting at that. I seriously, I heard that. I was like, what?
That's
like, incredible. Are we Saudi Arabia or something? That's crazy. In 1986. That's super recent.
It's like 30 years ago. That's incredible.
So maybe she's not legally, like, allowed to have that company under her name.
Oh gosh, who knows?
Which
That's
is crazy.
Yeah.
So I would love some more details on Diana. I know she's not a major character of the show, but I want her to be.
Yeah, I mean,
I want her to be.
She's kind of major enough, or at least for this season, she's...
Well, but not for her to, like, get her own, like, backstory, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we got to hear more about her. We got 3 more episodes.
One of our viewers in the chat, Monica, mentioned that it was 14 months in jail, and I think that
14 months?
I think that makes more sense.
I was like, 14 years is a long time.
Yeah, because Boz was in, remember he was in season 1, and Cameron comes running in. She's like, I figured it out. He's like, who are you? Cameron? I don't even know you. You're just a dumb kid. Get out of here. The IRS is here. You know, that was that, because, like, he wasn't super memorable to me in the first season. But I remember him yelling at Cameron, and then he gets arrested, right? And then the next season, we're like a few years later, and now he's out of jail. So that wasn't like 14 years. She'd have to be 40.
He must have spent time in prison because of the whole thing with their company, Cardiff, and whatever. Like, if I remember, didn't he sort of take the fall for all that?
Yeah, he took the fall for Cardiff,
that's right.
Which is why I think 14 months.
That. Yeah, 14 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they go and get him out of jail. How did I forget that? In the beginning of season 2.
Sorry, it's a little fuzzy, those little details.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I remember him saying 14 years.
Yeah, I was like, no way, 14
But I was like, that seems too long.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Monica.
Thanks, Monica.
Appreciate you.
Ryan is crazy, right?
Is Ryan crazy?
Well, okay.
I feel like, I want to argue that Ryan is not crazy. Ryan was just trying to be a good little eager puppy. And once again, Joe did not let him in on the plan. And so Ryan went a little too far off the deep end, thinking like he was like, Joe, you give me the signals to go to burn everyone else.
Got it.
I think that's what you're telling me. And Joe's like, don't do anything. Don't talk to anyone. Don't do anything. And he's like, so burn everyone's hard drives.
Yes.
Got it.
Picking up what you're laying down there.
Yeah, he was trying to pick up what he was laying
so
down.
I'll say this. Maybe he's not that kind of crazy. He's a special kind of crazy to me. Okay, so Joe doesn't tell him anything. Probably to protect him.
I think to protect him.
So he doesn't have to lie.
I mean, he even says, I can't say anything because I don't know anything.
Right. And he literally true, but also, like, Ryan, probably not a good liar.
No. Oh, 100%.
So he doesn't tell him anything to protect him. But I think you're right. Like, he was trying to please Joe. He thinks he's getting some sort of signal, volley back. That's what you said, right? It's like, I have to volley back, not you. But I think that, what Ryan is trying to do there is trying to think and act like Joe, like his hero or his savior, whatever you want to call him. And I think that he thought that's what Joe would do. So he went ahead and went forward with that plan. Even when Joe calls him, or does he call Joe? No, he calls Joe. He's like, I don't know what to believe anymore. Just tell me the truth. Did you plan this with Gordon? Which is true. He's like, no, I didn't. Hangs up right away. So then he's like, okay, then I'm on my mission.
Yeah.
Which... No.
Buddy, no.
Why?
You are not on the team. You have not graduated to varsity. Chill.
No, you're not that guy. You're a smart dude, but not smart enough to know that they will find you. There's no way they don't find him. All roads lead back to him, as far as I can tell. Even Joe knows that. When he drops it to him there, and he's in the room, that look on Joe's face was like...
Do you know what you just did?
Like, even I... not to do that.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm good. Don't worry. And I was like, I'm actually curious. I'm like, if they keep him on and he is that good, he'll be a powerful weapon for Joe. But I think Joe's saying like, man, no one's that good. Like the government will come for you.
They will. This is a crime that you committed, and I know something about committing crimes and doing a lot.
Or they'll come for me, and I really don't need that heat in my life right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the last thing that he needs, but it's like, why would you? Anyway, so. But there was also like on Joe's face there, because he has the key in his hand there, and he was probably gonna tell him about everything now, except that now he can't because he's gonna get probably put in prison.
I was wondering what that shot about the key was.
Yeah, well, that's the key that he had showed Gordon. Like this is to their like storage shed or whatever with all the computers.
Where he's now going to be half owner.
Yeah, totally half owner. But the look I was gonna say that on Joe's face there was like, I didn't even try to make this happen, but in some ways, you're going to take the heat.
Oh.
And now this is like, almost like, I didn't try to do this, but like, it's going to be you now, not me, and I can still be the silent partner over here. I mean, obviously, they're going to come question him or something.
Oh, that theory is on fire. I love it. I hope that Joe was like, oh, okay, well, you'll take the blame? Oh, Ryan.
Yeah. What did I write down? I just wrote I wrote down that he's just like, what did I create? Like, how did...
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm going to put this key back in my pocket.
I was kind of looking, I was like, what is he doing?
Like, well, I guess that one worked itself out. I'll see you later.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's talk about Gordon Joe, because that's where we pretty much end the episode. I loved Gordon coming to his place, checking it out, looking at all the nice things that should be his life. Years after that, like the deposition tape, everything I own or everything I created belongs to Gordon, or whatever he said on that tape there. Gordon is just feeling himself out in the room. And
I do have to say that I love, backing up slightly, I love that Gordon is now regularly using the projector as his go-to monitor. I just thought that was like really adorable, that he's like in the 80s being like, I have a widescreen TV because I'm a nerd and this is what we do when we make things better. And he's just using it now like it's no big deal. I was like, what is he doing? Yeah. And then he comes in, I thought for sure he was going to break that vase. Yeah.
I thought that was getting shattered.
I thought he was going to be like, you know what? And then Joe
it belongs to me.
Yeah.
I like what you did in here. Look at that view. Look at this couch. Look at all this stuff. That's mine.
It was really good. Gordon gets to do that. He totally deserves that, 100%.
Yes.
And Joe was like, Joe is so smart. He doesn't have a lot of patience, so he's like, I know I have to be patient right now. Like, watching him try to be patient was like hilarious for me.
What? Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, Gordon's earned that moment to come in there and strut his stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably worth $25 million to him, so he's just walking. And then, but it was like Joe asking him basically just for money. I don't think he had any idea that Gordon was going to go and figure out what he was doing and then be like...
I don't think so either.
I don't think so at all, but...
Well,
really...
He did leave it all up.
I mean, I don't think that he thought specifically that was going to happen. I think he just wanted money because his idea was great. And, I mean, he's like, just a finder's fee. I mean, what a role reversal for Joe to be the one being like, I just need you to help me out here.
I thought it was really brilliant because I think that Joe and Gordon work very well together. They're kind of Batman and Robin, if you will. Like he flew alone by himself now, and he needs his wingman to not only be there for him, but kind of just carry the weight for a while. And even though they were kind of at odds for a long time, I think that he's thrown Gordon a lot of little bones over the years where he said, I've offered you stake in the company twice. And he's also done other little things where he's like gotten, mutiny, the discounts with his, ex-father-in-law's, company, little things like that he's always done for like Donna, for Gordon.
Right.
And were they probably originally for Cameron? Yes, but they kind of work well in that way. You don't really just do favors over and over and over and over again for somebody's company unless they're a lifelong friend.
100%. I think that, he wants back in this family, like these people, specifically Gordon. I mean, you have to remember that he sought Gordon out in season 1 because he knew this was the guy that we can make something together. But at least at that point in their conversation, he doesn't know, and he's just like, look, I screwed you over, but you gotta. I just need. It was just really cool to see him like on that other end of the spectrum there. I think that
And Gordon's so nice.
yeah, well,
No.
kind of, except
He's nice.
well,
He's a nice guy.
yeah, well, except for like, thanks for the company, peace.
Oh, he deserves that moment. 100%.
So good. But I think so. He's like staring at that abstract, and I think, and this is part of, we have to forget that Gordon is a pretty smart guy. I
Yes.
think he stares at it and figures it out.
I think he does too.
Yeah, and that's what he's like. What did he say? Like, you stare at something for long enough, and
And
then
it becomes clear.
clear, which is really wonderful
Yeah.
for him. And then he goes to,
I'm watching him and I'm like, is he going to figure out the internet?
yeah, I guess basically, or at least knows that Joe, if anything, is a guy with vision, and whatever he's doing next is the thing that he's dumping off to the side and giving up if it's not his company anymore is not the thing anymore. I want to be with the thing that is now. And I think that Gordon sees that and is like, I'll bet it all on that. Plus, he's been kind of looking for like a real purpose most of this season. He wants to create again. He wants to be on the ground floor of something cool. I mean, 10% of Mutiny is basically just his money. You know, he doesn't really have any like control over that situation.
But also, I'm concerned that he is going to be in control of the company. He has a brain issue.
Oh yeah.
He's impulsive. He's not experienced as a business leader. He's a creator.
But that's
He's
why,
not a businessman.
Oh yeah, and which is dangerous. But that's why he knows
extremely dangerous.
He needs Joe. But giving him the 49% is like, look, anytime I want to usurp your, whatever your power, like I can do that with the 51%.
It was very generous. I was like, could you give him like 40%? Dang.
Yeah, I'm at like 20 or something. I don't know. You should be fine with that.
Dang.
It was just beautiful to see these two back together. Because, I mean, you have in some ways the marriage of Cameron and Donna just exploding. And then these two are back together. I thought like, wow, I didn't see that coming at all. I thought Gordon was just going to enjoy gloating, but then again, he wants to.
I didn't see it coming either, but it makes sense. Like we see, like I said in our chat, that we see them back in the very first pilot of Gordon and Joe tearing apart that IBM computer together. That's what they're, at their core, that's what they're into.
Yeah,
and
that's
they can
them.
trust each other on a certain level now.
Yeah, they've been in the garage together.
So I'm excited that like he's like, okay, it's really complicated. Here's the key to the bathroom. Here's the key to the door. I was
That was
like,
a charming
guys.
scene. That was very charming. Let me give you the grand tour.
The boys are back
and
together.
Here it is. It's so beautiful. He throws him the keys back there.
I'm very interested to see what's going to happen to Ryan.
Oh man.
Because now you have me all confused. I was like, oh, Ryan's just like this. He's really good. No, he's going to get caught.
Yeah, there's no way he doesn't get caught.
I mean, there's no way that. And now I'm thinking not only will he get caught, but he'll take the heat, all the heat for everything.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Joe's
probably.
just going to bury the puppy. That's what he's going to do.
Let him bury himself, maybe. I think we've come to the end of our time here. Let's get into some predictions.
Yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I could really talk about this episode all day long. This is
Such a good episode.
one of my favorites so far. What are you thinking, prediction wise?
I guess it really just let me see, gather my thoughts here. I really just want to drive home that I believe that Ryan is going to somehow, and I call this at the beginning of this season, I believe that Ryan is somehow going to push Mutiny back to Joe, although it's not happening the way that I thought it was originally. But yeah, basically Ryan, I think, is going to get in trouble with the powers that be. He's going to end up taking the blame, and he's going to ask Joe to help, and Joe is not going to help. He's going to ask Joe to help. Joe's going to be in a position to help, and Joe's going to be silent. I think that's what's going to happen because Joe's real good at that.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then Cameron's going to have nothing to do, and they're going to need a coder. And Cameron's going to go, well, screw you, Donna. I'm going to go work for Joe and be a direct competitor. And then I think somehow Joe and Gordon are going to get Cameron working for them. Because Cameron's going to be a loose cannon.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, she's got nothing to do, and now she's good buddies with Gordon. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that they would bring the two of them would bring her back into that fold there, because even in some ways, like Gordon, like now has a project finally, something to do, and I think he's going to be wrapped up in that, and that would. Oof.
I wonder if his health issues are going to deter that company granting him control of a company. If they find out that he has brain issues, they'll say that he's unfit and that he can't.
I suppose like Cameron could use it against him because she knows Joe doesn't know.
Yep.
It's quite
That's
possible.
something that could be used against him later.
Yeah, quite possible.
Something Joe could use against him later.
But if they do pull Cameron in, then that's gonna rip apart Donna and Gordon, which they've laid some groundwork for that to happen with their relationship.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
And for everyone listening as well, do you
Yes.
think Gordon and Donna stay together at the end of this season?
Oh, that's a great question. Let's let them answer that.
Because I honestly do not know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It just seems like they've laid so much in their relationship to sort of get back together, and they've been working together, but at the same time, like, Donna still has that big secret from Gordon. That could be something destructive to the relationship. He's built a relationship with Cameron, so definitely, he even tells her, I have to vote with Donna, even though if I don't want to. That was very telling of kind of where he is. Really good. Cameron and Tom, not gonna last.
No, not gonna last. Predicting it now. Calling it now.
Not gonna last. And also Joe is the one. Joe is like, he's got all these like personal issues and he's not very good with people, but he's never wrong about assessing a person. And when he assesses her relationship with Tom when she comes over to his place, I think he's dead on the money with her. And poor Tom's gonna have to suffer the fallout from that.
Poor Tom.
Yeah, poor Tom. He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
Why?
Just got mixed up with you played with fire.
Yeah, you got halted and got, I don't know.
You halted and you caught fire.
Yeah, can't really quite put it together there. So sad. All right, let's get out of here. Amber Plaster, where can the people find you?
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. You guys can tweet me your predictions at Amber Plaster.
And you can tweet me your predictions at Isaac Johnson, or look at my photos on Instagram, the Isaac Johnson. Leave us a comment down below on the YouTube if you're there. We want to talk with you.
We are in the comments.
We are in the comments. So leave it, and we will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.